In the dynamic world of thoroughbred racing and breeding, where passion meets innovation and tradition, few figures stand more prominently than Arrowfield's John Messara. John, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Let's start by talking about the ecosystem, the thoroughbred ecosystem. What do you think is the number one priority for Australia and New Zealand?
Well, we need to maintain our social licence because all long-standing sports are being attacked in one way or another. And so animal welfare is an important aspect of how we go forward. Putting that aside now for a moment, in terms of the sport itself internally, I think returns to owners are really important to keep people in the game.
Australia and New Zealand are close partners, close in distance, but how do the two industries compare?
Well, New Zealand is a microcosm of Australia. It's a small industry, given the numbers. It's smaller than a state of Australia, like New South Wales even. However, New Zealand always punches above its weight. And that's why I've got this enormous respect for Kiwis and for the country itself.
You've had a particular interest yourself in the New Zealand industry through the Messara Report. Tell me about the changes that you've seen since you did that report.
So I had, I think, 17 or 18 recommendations. A number of them were made right away. But one or two of the major ones have taken some time to bear fruit. In particular, the joint venturing of the TAB's commercial activities. This is something I pushed very hard in the report because New Zealand on its own just hasn't got the size to be able to invest in technology, et cetera, et cetera. So you need a big brother. And of course, that's happened recently with Entain, and you can feel the change that's occurring. I was there for the Karaka sale this year, and boy, there was a buzz around. The other change was the merging of clubs and the disposal of excess property, and to use that money to improve the remaining clubs. I thought at the time there were 48 tracks, and that should be reduced to about 28. That's gone part of the way.
Where do you see the role of the New Zealand breeding industry in the future?
Well, at the moment, it's a fraction of the size that it used to be. And it's also, the quality isn't as strong as it has been in the past. I think the breeding industry will follow the racing industry and will pick up.
Let's focus now in on Arrowfield itself. Have you had a favourite stallion over the years?
There was one that has always been a favourite, and that's Reduced Choice, you know, and it was a sad day when we lost him here a few years ago. He was wonderful, and when you look at the production of Group 1 winners, and you look at the current top active stallions in Australia, say the top 10, he ran at about twice the rate of Group 1 winners than those top 10 in Australia at the moment, which is amazing, isn't it? So he was very special.
Reduced Choice is coming again. Testarossa has to find. Reduced digs. He lunges and wins. Reduced Choice beat Testarossa. A magnificent guineas.
If we look forward, what's the stallion you're most excited about?
Well, I'm excited about one of his sons. We've had a son here called Snitzel, who's become a champion sire, but he's in the sort of autumn of his years. We've got another one coming through, the Autumn Sun, who was an outstanding racehorse himself and has a wonderful pedigree.
The Autumn Sun, 3 or 4 lengths in front. A serious racehorse. The Autumn Sun blazes in spring.
That is one of the best winning performances. The Autumn Sun emulates his sire, Reduced Choice.
It's taking a bit of time. They're not just natural 2-year-olds, but I see them coming as 3-year-olds, and I think he's going to leave his mark.
Tell me about your involvement with the Ladbrokes Racing Club.
Well, we've got some horses together to enable Ladbrokes to put them in their racing club, which I think, by the way, is a wonderful idea. One is Remark, who's a $1 million earner to date. So they were getting into a horse that we knew could gallop there. There was no problem. We'll have a lot of fun with him. He's a very good sprinter. He'll be in the top 10 sprinters or something around. The other one is a younger horse. He's by Autumn Sun, and his name is Know Thyself. And he's had 2 starts for 2 wins. And we've put him away for a few weeks, and we're taking him to Queensland for the carnival.
For the Ladbrokes Racing Club members, this is an incredible opportunity, isn't it?
It enables members of the club to get familiar with the industry at a very high level right away. and obviously to become owners long-term themselves, you know.
John, you've experienced ownership at the very highest level. It's addictive, isn't it? It's such a thrill.
Well, what I tell people is this. When you talk to people who have won a race on a Saturday, they say, oh, I won on Saturday. I said, hang, you haven't won, the horse won. But you actually think you've won. You know, it's as if you've won the race. You get that buzz, you and the horse become the one thing. It's quite funny, but yeah, it's a great thrill.
And what we need is a big race win from one of the Arrowfield contenders.
I'm confident you're going to get it.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.